Good day, tubes and groovers, and welcome to this edition of Take the Fear Out of Gear with me, Jason Bangers.
And me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
It's a mystery one. It's a mystery. What's that? Well, something come through the post today, Si, and we mentioned this on last week's show.
We did.
Ready? Can you guess what it is yet? Oh, I said it.
Oh, whoops.
I said it. Never mind. We're all right. It's the David Bowie Stylophone. Yes, it is. So we mentioned these were going for £30, I believe, something like that.
I think on Toman and other places they were £30.
Yeah, and I said, I guessed the price had been about £150, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was my guess. So I was amazed when we saw them at £30. But then in post edit, you may see that we brought up a little title in our last video saying me and Chumley found these online for $15.99, and we certainly did. Now they're actually being advertised as,
well, slightly damaged, or there's something wrong with them, but
like B stock.
Yeah.
You might be wondering why we're showing you this, because everybody's seen a stylophone. We all know what they are. For those of you that don't know, the younger viewers out there, in fact you're all probably younger than us, this thing came out in the 70s, and it was very famously linked to who was at the time a mega famous TV presenter, comedian, artist, and his name wasn't on it, never was on it. It was just Stylophone, but you got a floppy record with it, which was in itself quite innovative. It was like a piece of plastic that was no thicker than paper, and it was hard to play sometimes because the needle would just stop the thing from turning. You had to put a bit of weight on this bit of plastic to spin it round. Anyway, and therefore with the instructions with this presenter's voice telling you how to use this stylophone. So the reason we're bringing it up is because since the disgrace of this particular presenter, the stylophone itself has become a totally taboo subject. I mean, no one would dare use a stylophone.
It's the forbidden instrument, isn't it?
Forbidden instrument.
Yeah.
So what have they gone and done, Si?
Well, someone in marketing must have thought, how can we reinvent the stylophone? How can we sell more of them? So obviously they've contacted the David Bowie estate and said, can we do a special edition? And this is what they've done. It even says on the back here, it says 2021, the David Bowie archive. So they've obviously done all the homework and got all permissions, and here it is.
Well, holding it in the hand, it's quite the front is quite crude. It almost looks like that's just a badge stuck on, but it's 3D printed, isn't it?
I think it's all part of the moulding, isn't it?
You get a nice little booklet, though. I have to say, I can't really show you, but there's some nice pictures of David in here. Like, some nice memorabilia in the booklet there. So I know it's quite nice.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Some interesting facts in that. So, of course, David used this on Space Oddity. Made it quite famous again, didn't he?
And apparently he got his inspiration from watching the Stanley Kubrick 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Now, let's get that right. The film is called A Space Odyssey. The song is called A Space Oddity, which I got wrong and then corrected with a caption. Quite bizarre. I've never known. That was new to me because I thought the song was called Space Odyssey. Like the film.
Well, it's amazing how David Bowie obviously saw the film and he got so inspired by it, he had to do a song, which thank God he did, because it's what an awesome song.
It is now time for...
It's that time. Chumley Stats.
It's stat time again.
It is stat time again. So let's give you a little bit of an overview then on the history and stuff. So it was invented by this guy, Brian Jarvis, and it was launched in 1967.
And it was launched again on the David Bowie song out the window.
It certainly was. Let's hope this Mark Bolan was outside ready to catch his stylophone. So apparently he invented it because his daughter had a toy piano and it broke, and he wanted to invent something, or wanted something for her to play on, so he invented this stylophone, or the concept of the stylophone. So that's how it came about. And it was the original stylophone that Jay's got one. 1967 to about 1980 they produced them.
I was very young when I got mine for Christmas, and I've still got it.
quite a long sort of a life of production on those. Obviously, famous people, David Bowie, apparently Kraftwerk used it, and it's been we noticed that Pulp had done, like a more modern band had done a whole song with a stylophone as well. So it was relaunched in 2007, which was called the S1 version. So it was basically this, but in the original black, and everything else. And apparently these new ones use a 555 timer chip, where the older ones are more discrete circuitry. So we might have to have a listen at some point, see if there's any difference on that.
When I played it, when we plugged it in, it sounded like a stylophone to me.
Yeah, I don't think there's any difference.
There was much more pitch on the D tune though. Much more.
And you got 3 AA batteries instead of your old 9-volt one as well.
Yeah, the original one had not a PP3 in it, yeah.
So what else can we say? I suppose actually online, and I think there's some in the booklet, there's some stylophone scores. And I think probably in the booklet there's some of the David Bowie songs as well, so you can play along with it. That's what all these sort of numbers are on the front here to help you out.
They're so easy to play though.
And we discovered there was I called it the Mega Stylophone. I didn't know it existed.
We'll pop a picture of that up for you. Oh, if we can find one.
And that was called the Stylophone 350S, and it was massive. If you can imagine this one, but then sort of like almost like a desktop tabletop version.
Yeah, kind of answer machine, original tape cassette answer machine size.
That's it. And if you want one, we've seen one on eBay, but they're about £250.
Which I don't think it's too bad.
Because it has got a whole load of more features, isn't it?
Very rare.
There's a whole load more sound.
2 styluses as well. It's got 2 styluses on it, so I guess it's polyphonic. Is that the right word? Will it play more than one?
It must do. Yeah, it must do if you've got 2 styluses.
Yeah, I should imagine that's the idea. Yeah, this switch, by the way, is 3 different octaves. So, 1 note. Which I think is quite handy because you can jump up to a note.
And I suppose what I forgot to say is, we're not doing very well, are we?
No.
There's a volume pot on this side.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you've got your line out. So if you don't want to go in the speaker, you can go into your audio interface or whatever you want to do.
I'm sure on the original one you got one little single earpiece thing with it. I'm sure you did. We hope you've enjoyed that little rendition of Take the Fear Out of Gear. Little bit of knowledge for you. You might want to look further if you don't know who said celebrity was. If you want to look into all that, it's up to you. But we just thought we'd share that with you because the marketing is the interesting point.
Yeah, and it was a good tip of ours, wasn't it, from the last show?
Yeah, and a bloody good buy at $15.99 as well.
So grab yourself one.
Yeah, get one because we think they're going to be rare in the future. Keep it in the box. But I'd say don't play it, but I'm about to. So we'll leave you with that. So from this episode of Take the Fear Out of Gear from me, Jason Bangers, it's goodbye. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
And for me, Mr. Chumley Warner, don't forget to like, share with your friends and go for it.
Ping that bell. We'll see you on the next episode, guys. Now we're going to play you out with a little tune. Well, I did it in one, didn't I?
Fucking A.